The paradox of growing up. People don't really grow up just once. They grow up 3 times. The first time is when you realize you're not the center of the universe. Life doesn't move according to your plans, your timing, or your wishes. The second time is harder. That's when you understand that effort doesn't control everything. You can try your best and still fail. You can do everything right and still lose. And then there's the third time, the most powerful one. It's when you keep showing up anyway. You keep giving your energy, your focus, your heart, even knowing the outcome may never be in your control. That's where real power begins. Not when life becomes easy, not when fear disappears, but when you stop needing certainty to move forward. Whether you want it or not, this stage comes for everyone. And if lately you felt like something inside you is pushing you forward, like you can't return to who you were, like the old way of living no longer fits, that's not confusion. That's initiation. And it usually means you're stepping into the most powerful phase of your life, the discomfort before expansion. At first, it doesn't feel powerful. It feels unsettling. You wake up with a strange pressure in your chest. Not anxiety exactly, but a pull you can't explain. Your life might look fine on the outside, yet something inside feels off. You begin questioning what once felt solid. Your routines, your goals, your relationships, even the version of yourself you worked so hard to become. What once motivated you feels empty now. What once satisfied you feels too small. And a quiet question appears. Why am I losing interest in the life I once wanted so badly? Here's what most people never hear. Before expansion, there is disorientation. Before alignment, there is friction. Before a new era begins, the old one has to loosen its grip. That's why this phase feels uncomfortable. You're no longer who you were, but you're not fully who you're becoming yet. From the inside, that in-between space can feel like everything is unstable. But you're not breaking, you're opening. Why this phase feels so intense? There's a reason this stage feels heavier than the ones before it. Psychologically, your nervous system is recalibrating. The patterns that once kept you safe no longer run the show. Internally, your old identity is losing authority. The roles you played, the labels you lived under, the expectations you carried, they don't feel real anymore. Energetically, your frequency is changing. And change, even positive change, creates pressure. Carl Jung said that deep transformation requires surrendering an old self. Not the end of your life, but the end of identification. The ego resists this strongly, because the ego survives on familiarity, even painful familiarity. That's why people stay in draining jobs, shrink in relationships, lives that feel smaller than their potential. Not because they're weak, but because the unknown feels dangerous to the mind. Yet to the deeper part of you, the unknown feels like space. You're not lost. You're outgrowing a container that can no longer hold who you're becoming. The storm and the sky picture. The sky as a storm forms. Most people focus on the clouds, the darkness, the thunder, the disruption. But the sky itself is never damaged. The storm moves inside it. It shifts pressure. It clears the air, and then it passes. What remains? A cleaner atmosphere, a sharper horizon, a deeper stillness. That's what's happening inside you. The restlessness, the emotional waves, the urgency. They're not signs something is wrong. They're signs something is being adjusted. The pain begins when you think you are the storm, but you're not. You are the sky. And this storm isn't here to destroy you. It's here to clear your inner atmosphere so you can finally see what's ahead. The invisible gap. One of the most uncomfortable parts of this phase is an invisible mismatch. It's not that you're better than your environment, and it's not that your environment is behind. It's that your inner rhythm has changed, and the outer world hasn't caught up yet. Your intuition shifts first. Your standards rise first. Your sense of self updates first. But your circumstances still reflect an older version of you. That gap creates quiet loneliness. You can be surrounded by people and still feel out of place. That mismatch tempts you to rush, to force outcomes, to grip tighter. But manifestation doesn't respond to urgency. It responds to coherence, like a river. When you try to hold water with a clenched fist, it escapes. When your hand is open, it fills naturally. This phase isn't asking you to push harder. It's asking you to open, the shift from forcing to embodiment. This is the turning point most people miss. Power doesn't come from chasing the future. It comes from embodying the person who belongs there. Embodiment isn't waiting until you feel ready. It's acting from presence, from grounded awareness, from a quiet decision. This is who I'm becoming. You don't manifest confidence by waiting for fear to disappear. You manifest it by moving with fear without letting fear lead. You don't manifest abundance by obsessing over outcomes. You manifest it by removing scarcity from how you choose, speak, and act. Here's the paradox. The moment you stop trying to prove your worth, life starts reflecting it back to you. This new era isn't something you earn. It's something that appears when you stop blocking it with force. Signs. You're entering a new cycle. You may notice subtle changes, a stronger desire for solitude, less tolerance for shallow conversations, more hunger for meaning than approval. Your intuition feels louder. Your emotions move in waves, intense, but shorter. This isn't instability. It's calibration. Like a compass returning to true north, your inner system is reorganizing around a new center, outgrowing the old version. Every powerful phase involves release. Not the loss of opportunity, but the loosening of identities that no longer reflect who you are. You may grieve the person you thought you become, the version of you that was praised, dreams that once fit but no longer do. Let that be felt. Letting go isn't weakness. It's integration. That version of you wasn't wrong. They were necessary. They carried you here. Now, they don't need to lead anymore. When your power returns, there comes a quiet moment when you realize something has shifted. You react less. You observe more. You stop chasing validation. You choose alignment. The question changes. Not, will this work? But, does this feel true? And from that question, a different kind of strength emerges. Not loud, not performative, but grounded. Like a mountain that doesn't fight the storm. It simply remains while the storm passes. Life in the new era. Life doesn't become perfect, but it becomes coherent. Decisions feel clearer. Boundaries form naturally. Opportunities arrive with less resistance. You stop forcing doors that were never meant for you, and the doors that are aligned open quietly. You realize something unexpected. You don't need to search for purpose. The way you live each day is purpose unfolding, trust and manifestation. Trust isn't passivity, it's precision. Trust means listening to subtle signals, instead of waiting for dramatic signs. It means acting when something feels aligned, even when logic hasn't caught up yet. The universe doesn't respond to urgency. It responds to internal consistency. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions move in the same direction, manifestation becomes inevitable. Not because you forced it, but because nothing is blocking it anymore. A new era begins. If you feel like you're standing on unfamiliar ground, that's good. It means the old map no longer applies. If you feel both excited and cautious, that's good too. It means you're at the edge of real expansion. And if something inside you whispered, "This is for me," trust that. Your most powerful phase isn't ahead of you. It's happening now. Quietly, intelligently, irreversibly. Take a breath. Release the need to see the whole path. And step forward as the version of you that no longer waits for permission. Because a new era doesn't announce itself. It begins the moment you choose alignment. If this resonated, if something inside you softened, like and subscribe. Not for the algorithm, but for your alignment. Because this phase you're in is not random. It's powerful. And it's just beginning.